YouTube, how's it going? The Goat House is back after the divisional round of the NFL playoffs, and I'm here with my power rankings. We're going to rank the 4 teams remaining, but also the 4 teams that just got eliminated, see their final rank on the 2020 NFL season. Just a little bit ago, we had my takeaways video go up based on the divisional round. We'll have playoff picks throughout the week, of course. Free agency coverage kind of already started last week. But we're going to have more free agency content and NFL draft content. Some mock drafts already up as well. But we're in playoff mode, offseason mode at the same time, so we got a lot going on here. So please subscribe, smash that like button. Check us out on Twitter. A lot going on there as well. Link in the description in the comments for anything that you may need there, including that Sided app where you can win Amazon gift card just by talking football, basically. Check it out. And there's our Twitter. Yeah, again, a lot going on here. Here's it's at Goat House NFL, link down below. You guys will vote for the winners of the NFC and AFC Championship game like you do every week. You're involved in a lot of videos. You're voting for players of the divisional round. There's just a lot going on here, so I'd recommend you go ahead and make it a Twitter or following us if you already have one. It'd be much appreciated. Number 8, they were number 8 last week with the Browns. The Browns could have pulled it off. They could have pulled it off against the Chiefs. They did get a little help with Mahomes getting hurt, but they were playing a lot better in the second half. They were starting to get going on offense. Defense was playing a little better. I talked about in the takeaways video, I wish they started with the football. I didn't like that they deferred. I think if they started with the football, some things could have went a little different there. But see Myles Garrett in and out of the game, that's kind of tough as well. But they had a really good season. I didn't expect them to get this far. They got the right pieces, especially on offense. I guess the question is the system, like the run heavy, play action pass system. Can it get you further than this? And it was close. That's just the question, because in the recent past, some of those good teams have come up short, just like the Browns. But a very good team, a team for the future. They're number 8, though. Number 7 is going to be the Rams. They were there last week. I still think, on the season, the best defense in football. And their offense doesn't get enough respect, I don't think. It's a solid offense. There's some weeks where they turn the ball over. They're not so hot, but they can run the ball. They can really throw defenses off. They'll wear you out. Goff has his good games. He has his games where he's off. But, I think that offense in general is just a little underrated. But that defense had a really good year. It felt like they were getting in the Packers game, getting back in it, and then the Packers would pull away. I think that, what did it was them allowing that field goal at the end and not executing on those interceptions they could have had at the end of the half, and then the Packers coming out and scoring right away in the second half. That was kind of the dagger in a way. But they're going to stay at 7. The Saints moved down a spot even though they were eliminated. So, they had a really good year. I think one of the more balanced teams. They had a good mixture of offense and defense this year. There was a stretch where the defense felt elite. Tough game against the Bucs last night. They just turned the ball over too much. The Bucs are just a much, much improved team, as we expected, over the course of the year since they're fairly a new team. But, the Saints end the year as the 6th best team in my opinion. Another really good season. I don't know if anybody's more consistent than them over the years. They just keep coming up short in the playoffs. 5 is going to be the Ravens. Yeah, it was kind of close between the Ravens and the Saints because the Ravens didn't play as well maybe this week, only scoring 3 points. But I also think they're very balanced as well, maybe a little bit more than the Saints because I think they got more offensive power, which is the name of the game in today's era. Their defense really put them in position to win as well. It looked like a very good defense, one of the best in the playoffs. They were stopping the Bills. They were keeping them in check. They were able to adjust to go to zone coverage. They prefer man and more blitzing. They kind of went away from that, and it still worked. They still played their part. Offense just couldn't put the ball in the end zone, and they were attempting too many field goals, resulted in misses. So that was the difference there. But another good season for the Ravens there. Really picked it up down the stretch there. And then the season at number 5, they were 4 last week, so another team that just moved down 1. Top 4 remaining. It's tough to put any team, at the worst remaining. That's not really how I like to put it. Bucs are a really good team. They've gotten so much better every step of the way. Very balanced. This defense is really good. They had a really good performance against the Saints. They can get pressure. They can stop the run at an extremely high level. They can make plays. See Devin White flying around the field. The defensive, the secondary looked good. And their offense is much better now, much more consistent now than it was early in the year. It's just tough to move the other 3 teams down mainly. underneath them, even though the Bucks could, at the end of the day, they could win the Super Bowl. Any of these 4 teams can win the Super Bowl, realistically. The Bucks make it there. They're home on top of it. I think maybe something else that's like slightly splitting the teams up. The Bucks still a little sloppy at times. Some of they gotta lead the remaining teams in penalties committed by. I didn't look at the number. It just feels like a stupid penalties maybe. That kind of hurt them, but they still win because they're talented, and they're kind of barely missing big plays on offense still here and there. Got to put together a complete game when we're getting to the best of the very best now. But I like the Bucks, and again, they keep getting better. So next week, they're supposed to get Vita Vea back as well. They could be even better, and if they win, they're in the Super Bowl. With a week off, they could be even better. So that's the scary thing about the Bucks there. They were 6th. They're number 4. Excited about them next week as well as the other teams. Bills stay at 3. I didn't see a reason to move the top 2 teams down. The Bills sometimes start a little slow on offense. I talked about that. There's one week where they're just right out the gate, just dominant offense, like the best in the league. And then there's one week where they start off a little slow. I guess both, they got the job done at a high level, but both weeks in the playoffs, they started off a little slow. It's a little slow on offense. So maybe that's what's splitting them up so far compared to the other 2 teams. But, when they get going, they're going. The defense is getting a lot better. They're playmakers out there. A bunch of guys flying around with the ball. The defensive front rotation looks good. Long list of guys that come in and make an impact. Linebackers look really good. The trio there. And again, the secondary is making plays. Defense is getting better every step of the way. So at any given time, it can be a very complete team, very balanced team. I think their identity is still, passing the ball, getting the ball downfield, an offensive team. Run game, they've been missing the run game. They're still finding ways here, but, when you're playing the best of the best, the 2 biggest game of the year, can those teams just try to figure out how to strictly game plan for Josh Allen? I'm not saying they will. It's kind of a question mark. There's question marks for all these teams because they don't have to worry about the run game maybe. So could that be a problem? We will see. But the number 3, did think about moving the Packers up to number 1. The Chiefs were just 1 the whole way for me in terms of the playoff team. And they looked really down this week until Mahomes got hurt, and it slowed down a little bit, but they still get the job. We'll talk about the Chiefs in a second. But the Packers, went against the best defense and put up a whole bunch of points. They also won, on defense as well, helped win on defense. So the Packers feel like a number 1 team for sure. It's just tough to have to pick one there. Feel like a number 1 team. They feel like they're much better than they were earlier in the year. Look at last year. They made it to the NFC Championship last year as well. Their offense is way better right now than it was last year. Looking at the beginning of this year and then to now, the defense is way better than it was at the beginning of this year. So they're kind of just grabbing parts of, the best Packers teams over the last 2 years, putting them together. It's looking pretty good. They're getting pressure in the right moments, and they're getting They're making those actual sacks, which is very key. Offensive line's playing at a high level. Rodgers playing like the MVP that he is. Very balanced offense, too. You got to worry about the run game with like 3 different running backs. You got to worry about the quick passing game. You got to worry about the deep passing game. So they'll get you. And I like their ability to kind of change their own game plan in order to make a matchup problem, adding more pre-snap motion, being able to change your play calling because you can do any of it based on who you're playing. So all that, it feels like a championship team. It feels like a number 1 team. I just really couldn't move the Chiefs down. Right off the gate here, it looked like the best offensive football against the Browns. Like I've been talking about, they just spread the field out so much. Best in NFL history the way they do that. They'll pull you so far away where they want the ball to go, and you can have a feeling it's coming like that, but there's really nothing you can do about it because you have to cover so many guys. You have to worry about the speed, and if you kind of bite on something more shallow, they're going to hit you with the dagger. So that's a problem. They had a lot of guys out too. It felt like they could come back. Edwards-Helaire, who could be more of a factor. Mitchell Schwartz, Sammy Watkins, guys like that. Mahomes goes down. Breeland goes down as well. But yeah, in the defense, I talked about it going to playoffs. Their defense is better than people give them credit for. I would like for them to get to the quarterback a little more, but they are so good at adjusting. They'll give you all different looks. But yeah, they're good at adjusting based on kind of what we just said about the Packers. They can adjust their offense based on who they're playing to create matchup problems. Chiefs can do that. Their offense can do that just because how talented it is, but the defense can do that as well. And they just continue to make plays and step up when they need to, when they really need to most. So, I still got the Chiefs at 1 here, but yeah, you can debate any of these teams really. And any of the 4 could win. They're pretty close to all even percent, in terms of like if we want to put a percentage on them, chances to win the Super Bowl. I think they're all pretty damn even. That's what I love. I just hope, especially for the Chiefs, because of the main one this applies to. I just hope everyone's fully healthy, as healthy as they can be, because we want to see the best entertainment, the best football, and then we want to see the best man win, the best team win here. So we'll see what happens. I'm excited. We'll have you covered. We got our picks on Tuesday night. Every Tuesday night, we got score predictions every Wednesday. We got free agency and just offseason in general, free agency and draft coverage as well. So we got you covered. Please smash that like button, subscribe. Join us on Twitter, always talking, keeping you guys involved. Check it out. Link in the description and comments for anything that you may need. But that's going to do it for this one. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.